Hello there, I've got a card where I'm going to show you how to use your leaves for a stencil and your pixie powder so it gets a really nice autumnal look to it. We're going to be using several dies here. Let's bring them in to show you. The Fabulous Sentiments. We're going to be using the Julia die from the Frames and Tags. And the leaves come from the Cascading leaves, and I'll show you those. And then I've used some of the squares from the double pierced nobles, and I've got both the A and the B set here. All right, we'll set these to the side. Bring that in. And I've already done a bit of laying out of the leaves for you. And I've cut them with the cascading leaves. Now what I wanted to show you was this die set has an inner set with the leaves and an outer set. And I thought it would be helpful just to show you what it looks like when it's cut. So I'm going to pop this down, tape it into place. Now for what I've used here, I've just used the inner section, but I wanted to show you what you get when you cut both of these together. There we go. Through, undo, and when you use both of the dies together when you cut them, you'll end up with an outer little outline ring that will look like this. Get a hold of that. Oops, still got a little tape on it. So you get all the individual leaves. And then if you want to use the individual leaves like what I've done here, you can take these out, just roll some bits out and pop them out with a pokey tool. There we go. So you can see I've got the individual leaves, and I've just done a bunch of these, and I don't need any more, so I'm going to leave that. But I've done a bunch of these just randomly over a piece of coconut white card, and I believe it's roughly about 7 inches. Let me just do a quick, nope, 6.5 inches square. Okay, so I've laid them in place. They're not attached, they're just laid down. So I'm going to bring in some pixie powders. I've got Lava Red, Rich Gold, Ancient Copper, and Burnt Orange. So I'm going to just tap these. So you want to make sure you don't have any sort of fan or ceiling fan, anything on that's going to blow these around. I'm going to keep them in place, but you don't want to actually attach them. Make sure we've got all of the area coated really nicely. So I'm going to be a little heavy-handed with the different colors here. We come back and put a little more of that in if we like. This is the Rich Gold. And we're just tapping it away and moving it over across the background. There we go. Bring in the Ancient Copper. It's a little darker. Gives you some nice depth. Okay, and the Lava Red. Spritz that around a little bit. I think I'm going to bring in a little more of that orange just to fill in some of the spots. It's a little bit of a lighter color, so that should do the trick. I'm going to try and get all around these leaves, through them, on top of them. Just mix in some of that color. This one's not quite as easy to do if you add later, because things will start to move when you put the water on. So I want to make sure I've got enough powder on here to do the trick. There we go. They all look like they're nice and coated there. Okay, now, tell you what I am going to try and do here. I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on the edge here, see if I can catch it. Hold it down in place I'll have a tiny bit of a void there, but that should do the trick. So it'll stay relatively flat for us. There we go. About like that. Okay, that should work. Let's try it. So bring in my spritz bottle. I'm going to give it a light spritz. Making it all the powder activate, but not too much. I'm trying to get it nice and light. There we go. Like that. Okay. Now, the key to this technique is you don't want to bring in a heat tool. You want to set this aside, pick it up, and just let it dry naturally. Okay? And pop that to the side. And then, once it's good and dry, this is what you'll have. You can remove all your leaves, and you have a really nice sort of resist background from it. And you can see it gets into the leaves to give you a really, really solid pattern going through there. So that's what we'll be using as the background for our card. Okay. Don't you worry, those leaves are going to pop back up on another video though. Can't not use those. Put that to the side. Now the next thing I've done is I've cut a multi-layered frame out of the double pierced squares, and I've just put a little mounting foam around that. So I'm going to put that into the center of the card. And I've done a larger one on the bottom and a little small topper piece to it. And I think because I've got some pixies underneath it, I'll add a bit of glue to it just to make sure it adheres well. Okay, we're going to center this about, I think I'll go with that. That looks pretty good. Okay. I'm going to bring in the Julia dies. Now I've cut 2 of these and I've put a little bit of mounting foam on it. So I'm going to put one down in the center here. And then I've got pearls on the top one. I'm just going to offset that so it's lined up just on the other side. So each one kind of goes a little bit off skew from the one underneath that. I've got a sentiment I've stamped and I've just cut that roughly into a round area. We will need to trim that a little bit more. I've got a piece of sticky adhesive. Peel that back. I'm going to pop that right over the top. There we go. Bring in a piece of copy paper. There we go. And we'll peel the backing up on that. Get a hold of that. There we go. And I've done a frame with the centers of the Julia just large enough to fit over my sentiment. So I'm going to pop that into place first. Just get one try at this. I'm going to try and get it nice and centered. There we go. Bring in some Glitterbitz. And this is the Frosted Sparkle. Put that right over the top of that. But by doing the frame on there before I put the glitter on, it means that that little round frame will stick much, much, much better, since you aren't having to worry about the adhesive having glitter. Okay. And now I'm going to bring my scissors in and we will trim this. Now this is a little bit tricky. You want to go slow. Stay right to the edge of that frame, keeping your scissors at an angle a little bit. Just cut away that edge. There we go. And we can put that in the middle of our card. Oops. Piece of mounting foam. There we go. Right into the center there. I think you have it, and I think we'll just accent it with a couple little pearls. Let's get these right into the corners. Just needs a tiny bit of something there. One here and one there. There you go. Got a quick, easy autumnal card, and don't forget we'll use those leaves for another card, so you kind of get a twofer out of it. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget our YouTube channel has so many more for you to watch.